All righty, we are officially live on. Yes, it is New Year's Eve. It is December 31st, 2021. Yes, we are hours away from 2022. Pretty exciting stuff. And you should be pretty excited about it. Why? Because why not? It's a brand new year. Yes, we've had a challenging year, and the past couple years have been challenging, but we've got a new year ahead of us. So why not? Why not look forward to it and be excited about it? I certainly am. So let me know in the comments. You got any big plans for the New Year's Eve celebration? Uh, I'm kind of boring and well, I don't want to say old, but you know, I guess you can say that because I'm not going to go out and party. But basically, going to go out and get some dinner with the family. Come back here, maybe watch a movie and maybe play some games. I don't know. Try to stay awake till the ball drops, but I'm not going to be that upset if I fall asleep. Just saying. So that's what I've got planned. Nothing too exciting, but I am very, very excited for 2022. I'm excited about what we're working on for Brand Creators Academy, our niche properties, all of that stuff, and the people that we're working with. Super excited about that. So I kind of want to transfer that over to you. I hope that you're excited about the new year, and if you are, what are you most looking forward to for 2022? Drop it in the comments. All right, today, our jam session, we're going to keep this tight. I actually have a very busy day today, somewhat of a work day. I don't really look at what I do as work, but I guess you could say, well, it's something that I'm doing and I'm getting paid. So I guess you can call it work. But like right now, I'm not technically getting paid, but I'm still working, showing up for you guys. But I've got 3 coaching calls lined up today. I opened up some private coaching calls last week, sold them out in less than 24 hours. I opened up January, and yeah, I was surprised, to be honest with you, that it would fill up that quick. And I've got 3 of them scheduled today. So super excited to dig into those. That's actually fun for me. And I'll be reporting back inside of BCA, but also, here on the podcast and inside of the coffee talks, and kind of giving you what I'm learning from working with individuals, because everyone has their own set of, sticking points or struggles or any of that stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So we've got that going on today. And I've got my daughter, my son-in-law, and my granddaughter coming in this afternoon. So pretty exciting stuff. All right. So what are we going to talk about today on the jam session? Well, I have chosen this topic because I think it's really important when you are building a niche property, when you are building out content. And it's really understanding interlinking content to help rank in Google. That is our topic. So basically understanding interlinking. There's 3 things that I'm going to cover here. One of them is how it actually works. Then I'm going to go through and talk about when to start interlinking. And then I've got an advanced strategy that I'm going to share with you. So those are the 3 things that we're going to be covering here in the interlinking little jam session here. All right. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments for me. This is a jam session. If you're here on the Coffee Talk live, well, then you're able to ask questions. If you are not and you're watching the replay, you probably should show up to these live coffee talks. All right. And that way there you can do this. If you're not yet part of my email list, you might want to jump on there too. I sent out a really good email this morning. I always try to incorporate some type of lesson from that week or something that we just did. And we actually just got done with a BCA Brand Creators Academy live keyword research session yesterday morning. And man, oh man, I'll tell you what, we had a blast and we found a lot of great, we found probably, if we were to add them all up, if we would have kept going, we could have found hundreds of keywords for multiple niches. And so if you are part of Brand Creators Academy, that recording should be up right now inside the members portal. So you can go back and watch that. But we went through 4 different niches and uncovered what we're calling the keyword veins. It's kind of like Gold Rush. It's kind of like finding a good pay streak, and then you just kind of ride it. That's what we did there. A lot of fun. But if you are not yet part of Brand Creators Academy and you'd like to become a member. It is by private invite only. You can head on over to brandcreators.com/BCA. And today in that email, I talked about that. I talked about finding keyword veins and really finding that pay streak and how it really does relate to mining for gold. That's really what we're doing. And I'm a big fan of Gold Rush. So anytime I can throw in a little Gold Rush, I do. So, but yeah. And yeah, Scooby Life says, cool. I'll rewatch in BCA this weekend. Yeah, it's there. It's live. It was great. And we're going to do more of them as well. I mean, people love them inside of the group. And we're going to be doing more of those, as well as our hot seats and all of that stuff. So, all right, cool. Let's get on with it. Let's get through this session. Like I said, well, I should have said that because that's what I was really leading up to. If you want to become part of our email list, where you get my weekly emails, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can head on over to takeactioncrew.com. Just go there. You can also watch some of the past episodes of our coffee talks. We have a smart player there where you can search through and find something you're looking for if you need help. So that is takeactioncrew.com. All right, let's go. I'm going to go ahead and kick this thing off. We're going to go 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Friday jam session. And I am fired up. I am pumped because if you are listening to this on the podcast right now, we have crossed, 2021. It is behind us. It's in the rear view mirror. We are in 2022. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the day that I'm airing this or that I'm doing this live is the day before. It is New Year's Eve. So depending on when you're listening to this, Happy New Year. All right. 2022 is here. So really excited about this new year, but I'm not going to talk about the new year necessarily right here today, although I am extremely excited about what we're working on and the things that just the opportunities, the potential that we have for what we're focusing on, which is building out our niche properties portfolio and helping others do the same. Just things are really, really looking good. And I'm excited to share that, but I'm just excited in general. Got a lot of cool things to be excited about family wise. I mean, I've got a great family, they're all doing great things. And, I've got a granddaughter and I've got another grandbaby coming on the way. Don't know what it is yet. We're going to be doing a gender reveal here soon. So not sure yet, but super excited about that. And just why not? Like, why not be excited? We have so much opportunity out there and we should be taking advantage of it. So today, this is going to be the topic for our jam session because I think it's really, really important that you understand this. And it's something that you can do almost immediately to help your content rank in Google. And that is understanding interlinking your content to help rank in Google. So this whole interlinking thing, a lot of people don't talk about it. And they don't talk about it because they don't think it's really important and it doesn't really do anything. And what I want to do is I want to break it down for you. I want to break it down on what it looks like. I also want to just talk about how it works. And then I want to talk about when to start. And then I want to give you an advanced strategy that if you already have some existing content that's up and you're getting any backlinks to your website, how you can utilize that and direct those links. So we'll talk about that here on the jam session. So let's just kind of dig in. How does it actually work? All right. So imagine you have a piece of content you've written and you've got other content that you've written. Now, if you have not written any content other than, one piece of content, you can't really do any interlinking because you have nothing else to link to. So this is going to happen when you have at least 2 articles, right, posted, and you can link back and forth to each other. But basically, there's a couple of different things that we need to understand with interlinking. When you are reading your post, all right, and you are a reader, and there is something mentioned in there, and it doesn't have to be like click here to go read more. It doesn't have to be that. You could just be talking about bass fishing lures, right? And mention bass fishing lures. Usually you want to use a silver, coloring when the water is cloudy, whatever. And when you said fishing lure or bass fishing lure, and you had an article that was just on bass fishing lures, you would just link directly over there and not say, go click there. You would just highlight it and that becomes a link. Now, what this does is it also shows Google that you have content that is related to one another. So it starts to take your relevancy score and kind of bring it up a little bit. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is if you're a reader and you did click over there, you're keeping that visitor on your website longer. That also sends a signal to Google. You can see this in your analytics, how long someone is staying on your website. If someone is staying on your website longer, Google says, oh, you must be relevant to what they're looking for. So we should probably give your site more relevancy and we should maybe rank your stuff a little bit better, right? That's how the algorithm is working. They are always looking at, I say they, the robots are always looking at the reader. Okay. How is the reader interacting? The other thing it does is when you hyperlink that, that's basically creating that link, and it is what they call anchor text. It's what the text says that you are linking from. If it says bass fishing lures, well, then again, that's another thing that is highlighted that is telling Google that link says bass fishing lures, and it links over to an article that is top 10 bass fishing lures of 2022, right? So all of that stuff has to do with relevancy. And it doesn't have to be complicated. When you're doing this, all you need to do is as you're writing your post, when you're publishing it and optimizing it, you want to see where is something that I've written before that makes sense to link people over there. And the same thing goes for the article that you linked them over to. That article might link back to the original article. So then now you have this cross-linking, okay? But that's the basics of how interlinking works. There's one other aspect to it that a lot of people don't talk about. So once your site gets some authority, it's starting to get, and what gives it authority for the most part is age. Okay. It's going to be like how it is ranked within Google and scoring within them, right? It's also going to be determined by backlinks. That's why you might have heard people doing like black hat stuff to get more backlinks, because years ago, it was all based off of backlinks. You could take your site and push it to number one by just artificially creating these backlinks from spammy websites, and you would get ranked. And then Google came out, they did an update, they slapped all of the black hatters and then got rid of them. Okay. So you don't want to do that anymore, but you will start to get natural backlinks. Like we've done zero backlinking. We have one site right now that we are doing a little case study with that we started about 3 months ago. I say we started the backlinking about 3 months ago, but it's a white hat backlinking. It's where we're actually doing outreach to other authoritative sites, and that we are then asking them if they enjoy our content and if they would like to link to it, right? If they want to use it as a resource. So that's a whole nother strategy, but we're not going to talk about that. But there's 2 sites right now that we have done zero backlinking to, okay? But we have thousands of backlinks because it naturally attracts backlinks. A backlink is when someone on a site refers to your website. They link out to your website. That gives you a signal to Google that, hey, this site thinks that this site is relevant too. They linked over to it. So let's give them a little bit more juice, right? Let's give them a little bit more of a push. And then that's what takes your domain authority and raises the score. And over time, that will build on it. Okay. And we've gotten domain authority links as high as 80, right? Which 100 is the best. 80 is like massive. It's like, wow, when you get an 80, like you're doing something really good. And what that does is it gives your site more authority. But here we can do something really cool with that. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. But when you have a backlink that's coming to your site, it also takes all of the other links that are on your site and kind of elevates them a little bit. It gives them a little bit more what they call link juice. All right. And I'll share with you an advanced little strategy that I've been testing, and how you can utilize those external, backlinks. All right. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So number one, how does it work? Just kind of explained it, right? You just want to link to relevant content with the anchor text. That would be something that's related, right? If you're talking about how to grow palm trees, and inside of that, there's a palm tree article that you've written about fertilizing. Well, you might say, it's really important that you fertilize, that you use organic fertilizer for growing your palm trees. You might highlight that and go to your fertilization or blog post. See, and then you'd come from that one back to the other. So it's just interlinking back and forth where it's relevant. Okay. And there's no rule that you got to have, oh, you got to have 5, you got to have 1, you got to have 100. No, it's where it makes sense. Now, there are tools out there that help with this. There's a tool that I do use because when you get a lot of content, it's going to make it a lot easier because it's going to suggest content that you can link to internally. But you don't need this in the beginning at all. But it's called Link Whisper. It's by a good buddy of mine over at Niche Pursuits, Spencer Hawes. So it's a great tool. It's a WordPress plugin, but you do not need it in the beginning, but it is a useful tool because it helps to speed this process up. Okay. And find like opportunities that are on your site that you might not be aware of. It also finds like orphaned pages is what they call it, where it has no interlinks. And you want to fix that because anytime we have a link, we also are transferring some of that backlinking juice over to those pages, but that's a little bit more advanced. So when to start doing interlinking? As soon as you have more than one article, like that's when, okay? As soon as you have more than one article, you should start doing that. And I would try to make it part of my optimization process. So when you put up a new article, okay, you're going to be reading that article through or writing the article, and you're going to know that there's something on your site that's related to something that you mentioned. You're going to just link over there. All you're going to do is go get the page, the URL, the slug as they call it, the URL, and then you're going to copy that, and then you're going to use that as your inner link that's going to link over there. That's it. Now, if you are using a tool like Link Whisper, you're just going to scroll to the bottom of your WordPress post, and it's going to give you suggestions, and then you're just going to say yes or no, or you can change the anchor text. But that's how you would do it if you were using a tool. But you can do it manually. I've done it manually for years. Okay, so you can totally do it that way. So that's when you start. When you have at least 2 articles, that's when you start. Start immediately, because I wouldn't want to have to go back and do it later. I would rather do it up front. Okay, so that's when to start. All right, moving on to this advanced strategy and how we can utilize, okay, interlinks to actually help us rank and really target a certain page. So once you have content that is published more than 6 months, I always use 6 months as the benchmark, because after 6 months, it's pretty much stabilized as to where it's going to probably be. Now, it could change, right? There could be an update. There could be maybe you get a backlink to that page or whatever. There are some other things that can happen that page could rise. But for the most part, after 6 months, 7 months, it's pretty much stabilized is where it's going to kind of be in that range. If it's not on page 1, if it's on page 2 or beyond, that's when I would say, okay, is there something here I can do for this page? Okay, is there something that I can do that's going to push that page? Even if it's on page 1, this would be a strategy that I would use if it's on page 1 and I did not want to disrupt the content. I did not want to rewrite anything. I didn't want to screw anything up. It's maybe sitting at position 9 and I want to try to move it to position 5 or above. What could I do? I could get a backlink, right? I could get a backlink from another website pointing at that. Or what I could do is I could go to my own backlink profile, and you can find this in Ubersuggest. Just take your URL, put it in there, and you'll see all of the backlinks and where they're coming from. And then you see a high authoritative site that has linked to one of your posts. And then you would go into that post, and then you would create an internal link that would point to the page that you're trying to push up higher. Okay. Now, I know that was kind of a lot to take in, and it's kind of hard to share here through audio. I'll try to explain it one more time. Once again, though, little shameless plug. This is something I'm going to be sharing inside of Brand Creators Academy. These are the things that we're doing. We're running tests. We're going to share these with our members, and then our members are going to be able to test them. And then we'll be able to kind of, come together and go, hey, did it work for you? Yeah, it worked for me. It didn't work for me. Maybe you got to do, so then we can kind of play with it a little bit. If you are interested in joining us, like I said, little shameless plug here. It is by private invite only. But you can head on over to brandcreators.com/BCA, and you can get all the details there. But I'm going to be sharing this strategy. I'm going to be walking through, looking over my shoulder, the actual post that I've done, which early results are saying that I moved at least 3 positions by just doing this one little strategy. Okay. So here's what I did. I'll walk you through it. I went to my backlinking profile, went into Ubersuggest, and I looked at the backlinking profile. I found a site that was linking over to one of our articles. That site had a domain authority of like a 60. Okay. So pretty good. On that post, okay, that they had pointed to, okay, because now they're pointing to it. So that means that their authority is transferred over to that page. I'm going inside of that post and I'm finding something relevant that I can link out to an internal post of one of mine that I want to push higher up in the ranks. Okay. And that's it. So all I'm doing is I'm transferring some of that link juice. So an internal page, if it has backlinks coming to that internal page, technically I could transfer some of that link juice by pointing it over to another page. Now, it's not going to be a 1-for-1. It's not going to be like, oh, well, they have a 60 domain authority, so now that page has a 60 domain authority. That's not true. We don't know exactly what it is, but it's something, right? And if it's a higher domain authority, we would just say common sense says it's going to be a higher, link profile. So that means it's going to give me a little bit more push. Now, if that page has 4 posts coming to it, or I'm sorry, 4 links pointing to it, or 6 or 10, now that page becomes even more authoritative, right? And so then I would say, well, that's a great page because now I'm going to go ahead and use that as like an internal linking, like, push post where I can use that if it makes sense. I'm not forcing it, right? But if you're relevant inside of your niche, if you're building this thing out and it's relevant, if it's all about bass fishing, well, that post that's about bass fishing here is going to be relevant to something that's bass fishing over here, right? Back and forth. So you do want to utilize those internal links and the backlinks where you can. So let's wrap this up. How does it work? Pretty simple. Find relevant content on your website and link internally to your own stuff. Okay. Just link back and forth to your own stuff. That makes sense because it keeps your reader on your website longer, which also sends a signal to the algorithm that people are enjoying your content. They're getting useful content. It's relevant. So let's push them up in the ranks. Let's give them a little bit more authority. That's how it basically works. When to start, as soon as possible, as long as you have more than one article. And then the advanced strategy is really just taking some of your some of your backlinks to a specific page and transferring that by interlinking from that page to another page that you want to increase the rankings on. And that's it. All right. So there is your interlinking, overview, or your little mini training there on interlinking, because that's basically what I just did, right? It's simple, it's not hard, and anyone can do it, and you should be doing it as soon as possible. And you don't have to overcomplicate this. All right. So there you go. Now, if you want help with this, or if you want help building your niche property, I would recommend heading on over to brandcreators.com/BCA. You get access to all of our trainings in there. One of those trainings is one of our flagship trainings, which is our niche properties class. And you'll get full access to that. Currently, right now, that sells for $599 on its own. You'll get access to that as a BCA member. So again, brandcreators.com/BCA, and you can get started as soon as possible. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, have an awesome, amazing day. Take care, take action, and happy New Year. Let's go crush 2022. What do you say? Cut. All right, guys. What do you got? Let's see. Any quick questions? Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, Alejandro, what's up? Thanks for the apple. Let's see. Happy New Year to you as well, Salama. Staying home, then going Hawk Rescue Photo Group shoot in the morning. Awesome. That sounds great. How important is trying to get Google Snippet? Trying to answer the question with low character count and bolding 4 words or so. Again, there we are trying to kind of like figure out a way to get the snippet and stuff. I really don't focus on that, Alejandro. I just focus on the content and getting it out the door. So I know that there's some things that are being done out there. Like, how can we, like, if you bold 4 words, if you do this, if you do that, I mean, if you want to spend the time to do it, fine. But I wouldn't spend too much time there. I've actually, we've gotten a lot of snippets and we aren't following any of that. We're just writing the content and putting it out there. So, personally, I don't necessarily think that you have to overthink that, but if you want to come up with a little formula that you want to follow, go for it. Let's see. Oh, Scooby Life says, didn't know what orphan content was. New task to review. Thanks. Yeah. If you see an orphaned post, meaning that it has no interlinking to it, make sure that you get some links pointing to it from your own content inside. Simon, great info. Thanks, Scott. No problem. When would you get Link Whisper? I would say, I mean, again, if you're finding it that it's hard to interlink your content because you just have other things going on, it might be worth it to get it. It's not that expensive. So yeah, I would definitely look into that. And I believe if you go to our resources page, I have a special code there to get a discount. So if you go there, you'll get a discount. I believe it is brandcreators.com/resources. I'll have to check in on that, but I'm pretty sure we are an affiliate for them, of course. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap up our Friday jam session, our New Year's Eve edition. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, and just want to remind you that 2022 is here. It's going to be here. Okay, if you're listening to this after this day, it is 2022. So keep things simple, keep things fun, and you'll do great. All right. And stay here. Stay with me. All right. If you want to get my emails and you're not yet getting my emails, head on over to takeactioncrew.com. That's where I send out my emails. And you can also watch some of the past coffee talks there. And I'll still be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Brand Creators Academy is going to be front and center for me. We've got a cool thing that we're working on that's going to be released in the first 2 weeks of January, which is our niche properties insider, which is basically it's a video newsletter in a sense, where we're going to also have a more or less like a roadmap, a 90-day roadmap that's attached to it. And basically what we're doing is we're breaking down a website that's currently being sold, usually going to be at least $1,000 per month of what they're earning. And then we're going to tear that site down. We're going to break it down, and then we're going to dig through the content. We're going to dig through all of the different ways that it's making money. And then we are going to come up with our own plan for 90 days as if we were to buy the site and build it so we could either hold it or sell it. And we're going to give that 90-day blueprint or that roadmap to our members. So if you're interested in getting access to that and all of our other trainings and our hot seat calls and our biweekly calls, head on over to brandcreators.com/BCA. And you can go ahead and see all the details there and take a little survey, and we'll reach out to you with a private invite. All right. So guys, that's it. Happy New Year. Be safe and have fun. Have fun and keep it simple. All right, guys, take care.